It's Kevin Canessa coming to you from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com on this, the 22nd day of November in the year 2021. Sure hope you're enjoying your Monday, no matter where it is you are in the country. 58 years ago today, imagine that, the loss of President John Fitzgerald Kennedy in Dallas, Texas. I wasn't alive for that, but for many, that was the day that until 9/11, everybody knew where they were when they found out that it had happened. So imagine that, all those years ago in Dallas, Texas, and all the horror that followed that between the capture of Lee Harvey Oswald, who was alleged to have killed Officer J.D. Tippit of the Dallas Police Department, and then Jack Ruby killing Lee Harvey Oswald right in the middle of a hallway at police headquarters. He somehow got in with a gun, and I think they thought he was a news agent or a FBI agent or something that was just standing along the wall that day. But what crazy times those had to be. On the 22nd day of November in 1963. There's one day to go back. I think it would be that one, just to see what it was like. But at any rate, every Monday night you let me into your living room so that I can go over the current week's newspaper. And the front page this week, I'm going to put it over here so you can see it a little better and try to make it a little bit bigger. The two headlines: Kettle Kickoff. The Salvation Army every year has a Kettle Kickoff at Kearny Town Hall. It was Friday last week, and it was a chance for Lieutenant David Kumar, who is the new leader of the Salvation Army, to have his first event. That's what he did. It's the biggest fundraiser of the year for the Salvation Army, and hopefully you'll start to see them at all different locations in the area very, very soon. And we welcome Lieutenant Kumar to the Kearny area, and I believe he's married with a wife, and she'll be the co-leader as well, but we'll get to meet them very, very soon. On the bottom of the front page, of course, the big news coming out of Union on Saturday afternoon. The Kearny boys soccer team won yet another Group 4 soccer championship, 6-2, beating Freehold Township over at Kearny University. It is the first one they've won since 2018, if I'm not mistaken. But boy, this team was something. I am not a soccer fan, but I watched this game on Saturday, and I saw some of the best soccer I've ever seen. These kids are amazing. This kid, Juan Rojas, you would think this young 17-year-old boy was a professional soccer player. He's so good. And between the games that they played with Harrison in the Hudson County Championship and all the preliminary rounds in the state tournament, I've actually read on certain social media platforms where people are saying this may be one of the best Kearny high school soccer teams ever. And you know that's saying a lot, considering how many people have come out of the Kearny High School program over the years. So congratulations to Bill Galka, to the coaching staff, and to the boys on the team for winning the Group 4 overall soccer title. Jim Haig was there. He was on the field, and he has a phenomenal recap with some great photos from the game on Saturday afternoon, and there were a lot of people there. They had to open up the second side of the stadium because there wasn't enough room. I guess they were going to try to limit it to one side, but there were so many people there that they had to open it up on the other side. And from what I understand, I think Kearny probably outnumbered Freehold 10-1 in attendance. I don't know if that's just a matter of location or whatever it is, but it sounded great too, because the game was streamed online, and I had a chance to watch it from the comfort of home while it was 40 degrees at the stadium, but well worth the time, the effort. This is a special team. Congratulations, Coach, and to all the boys on the team. As we move along onto the inside of this week's newspaper, Ron Lear has a profile of Kearny's new health officer. She comes to us from Union County. She grew up in West New York, and she has a lot of experience with public health and with dealing with the COVID-19 virus, which of course is something that she will be required to do as she replaces Ken Pincus, who went off to do the same job that he was doing here in the city of Passaic. So we welcome her and wish her all the best of luck in her new position. There were 13 police officers who shot at the couple who killed Detective Joseph Seals, a resident of North Arlington, in 2019. Those 13 police officers, for whatever reason, well, I know the reason because it's the law, had to wait until last week until they found out whether they were going to be charged with any kind of crime. Because anytime a police officer discharges his or her weapon, it's investigated by the Attorney General's office and then it goes before a grand jury. And would you believe it took this long? And fortunately, thank God, not one of the baker's dozen were indicted on any charges because they killed this murderous couple who killed Detective Seals and 3 other people inside a deli, including a man who hailed from Harrison. Sometimes you just got to scratch your head and wonder with laws. We hear so often about how there is so much discretion in law and in law enforcement. Yet when it comes to police officers, the discretion seems to go out the window when they do their jobs. It's like ridiculous. But these 13 people had to sweat it out and wait for 2 years to learn that they weren't going to be indicted for a crime. But the fact that they could have been by taking out these 2 murderers is just mind-boggling. It really is. But the good news is it ended the way it should, with not one of those police officers who ended that murderous spree on that horrible winter's day in 2019. I just can't even imagine what they had to go through. But at any rate, no indictments to any of the 13 police officers, and that is a good thing, no matter where you stand on a political platform. We have a Bridging the Gap this week from our old pal Mikey Galloway, and Mikey is a student at Don Bosco Prep, and he writes of how he doesn't think people should get a vaccine. He doesn't want to get one himself. His mother had COVID, but he also doesn't think that if you want to get one, you should be able to get one. But his point, which you will read, is that no one should tell him he has to get one. So I hope you'll read this. Keep in mind, Bridging the Gap is written by high school students. Michael is, I believe, a junior at Don Bosco Prep. Maybe a senior, but I'm pretty sure he's a junior. And he's got a very, very valid argument as to why mandates are not a good thing. So take a look at it. It's on page number 4. Just keep in mind he's 17, too. And I say that because it's one of the best written pieces I've read in a long time, even though I don't agree with much of it. He's a great fundamental writer, and he knows what's going on. Check that out. Bridging the Gap, page number 4. Page 5, something we brought to you online early last week. Clara Moss Medical Center is offering virtual ER sessions. So if you have an emergency situation and you don't necessarily want to go to the ER, you can now do it virtually. Controversial, sure. Not sure how I'd feel about it if I had a big emergency going on online, but it will certainly save a lot of trips for people who don't necessarily need to go to the ER or who may use the ER as their general practitioner. Check it out on page number 5. It's certainly the first of its kind, I believe, in this area. And it's at all the R.W.J. Barnabas hospitals, not just at Clara Moss, I believe, but they have a program right here at Clara Moss. We have a couple of arrests and convictions from the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office, some successful convictions. And let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, it's a busy week in Lyndhurst. 2 motor vehicle incidents that wound up in arrests. I hope you'll check that out. That came to us from Vinny Ortieri. The mobile DMV was in Kearny again, second time in 2 months, and the lucky ones who were able to get an appointment don't have to go to a motor vehicle agency to renew their license or renew their registration and things of that nature. It's a great program, and it's happened twice, and I'm not sure if it's happening again in December. We'll find out, but the appointments go quick, so if it does happen again, you're going to have to get an appointment very, very fast. It goes quickly. And, of course, Jim Haig has sports, and the rest of sports with an Athlete of the Week and a story about the Caldwell College or University, I think, yes, they are now, football program. And as we do every week, 2 pages of classifieds, 2 classifieds, rentals, job opportunities, services offered, you name it, you're going to find it in this week's classified, only in the Observer newspaper. That's going to do it for tonight. But as I sign off this evening, I want to take a moment for personal reasons to say to each and every one of you how grateful and thankful I am for all of you who watch this news broadcast once a week, whether you're here live or whether you're on a podcast, or for any of you who watch any of the live videos that we do here at the Observer. A couple of months ago, I was gone for 7 whole days, and I realized how grateful I am to know so many of you personally, and how much I missed you, and why I am so thankful, of course, to be back. And I give thanks for all of you every single day that I wake up, because without you, none of this is possible. And I know on behalf of Lisa, Tina, Bob, Michelle, Kimmy, Jim, Ron, everybody here at the Observer, we want nothing but the very best for all of you now and always, and of course, as this Thanksgiving season gets underway. From the newsroom of the Observer and theobserver.com, it's Kevin Canessa signing off for now, and we'll see you back here in a week. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody. Bye-bye.